So this is the Etext Example 8. So it's in the textbook, but it's a good example to do. It's very common to have an example like this, so I wanted to show it to you. It's an example of a U substitution. So look at what you have here. It's kind of messy, right? Like you might be thinking, oh, I want to multiply everything out, but we really don't want to do that. I have something squared, that binomial in there, right? And then this is the same something, right? So it's going to be like a U here and a U here. But what are we doing? We're saying x squared minus 5 equals the U. That's our U substitution. Now we'll need to know that when we come back to solve for x. Now replacing those parentheses, that binomial, with U gives us U squared, that little square there, plus 3U minus 10. So it's kind of visual if you can see it. We're replacing this whole parenthesis part with U. Okay, now that's a quadratic equation. It probably factors, and it does U plus 5 and U minus 2. So you can work on the factoring. You could use a quadratic equation if you wanted to, but it's easier to factor. So I get U equals negative 5 and 2. I get two solutions, right? Okay, so now we're going to come over here and we're going to solve this for x. So first we're going to say x squared minus 5 equals negative 5. Okay, so that was our first answer. Okay, so we'll plug that in. Now that's a quadratic equation. I don't have an x term, so instead of setting it to 0 and using factoring or the quadratic formula, I'm going to use the square root principle. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. You can rewind it, but I'll just say it again. I'm using the square root principle because there's no x term. Okay, there's no bx in there. Okay, now you can take the square root of both sides and you get x equals 0. So that looks like a solution. You could plug it in and try it and see if it works. Now we have to find if u is 2, what the answer is. New solution. X squared minus 5 equals 2. So I can add 5 to both sides. Yeah. And I get x squared equals 7. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Don't forget the plus or minus. And so I get x equals plus or minus the square root of 7. So I actually get 3 solutions here. I get 0 as a solution, negative square root 7, and positive square root 7. Those would be the solutions. And I can check them.